them come. This is their fate.
Let me get my Birdman hands in there. All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, here with my near and dear friends, Jalen and Josh. We are coming off my birthday week as well as this is the Black Friday week because they don't do Black Friday no more. They have decided to be good humans, send people home on Thursdays, and so it's Black Friday week. So we got a lot to talk about in regards to gaming, a lot of cool deals out there that y'all can go check out for sure. So things I already picked up. Shadow having the blicky, I forgot all about that, but he got a gun. he got another gun. He got another.
You gotta be authentic to his character.
Authentic to his character, I see. But more to talk about, more things to discuss. But before we get started, per usual, Jalen, Josh, tell the people how you been, what you've been up to, what you've been doing, how's life going, what you've been playing, any cool updates for the people. Talk to the people.
Yeah, per usual. My bad, Jalen. If you want to take it on.
Oh, Jalen's coming for the steal. First base. Go ahead. Steal that. Go ahead.
Get a couple RBIs. Not just fine. I'm trying to think. So updates with me. I guess traveling a little bit. So I went to the DC area. What was it, my mom last weekend. And then I'm getting ready as we speak to go to Orlando for Thanksgiving to meet some of my family down there. We all kind of converging on a remote location, I guess, so it's kind of straight. So you're gonna make some shake. I need to see about this TikTok recipe about the mac and cheese infused yams, or mac and cheese infused yams. There's
just don't.
I seen a little recipe.
Just don't.
I'm
man.
Like, bro, when they touch, man, it's like the favorite part of the year, like Thanksgiving. Christmas, give me Thanksgiving.
That's okay. You control that temperature. Don't do it, man. Don't make it like that. Just you control that temp. You control how that mash up, because I think that's gonna be disgusting. I ain't gonna lie to you,
bro. That I ain't gonna lie. I seen one that was trash, man. But I seen another one. I was just looking like, boy, that mac and cheese and yams look like they a synergistic combo. They was looking like a stronger force than Gogeta. Vegito, you know how it be when they fuse. It's a showstopper. It's a super showstopper, bro. Time might stop itself.
Time might stop. So, Karina, I
actually
told her, she only making sides for me this year. I ain't want no turkey. I ain't want no poultry. I said, make the sides that I like. And that's, the staples, macaroni, yams, greens, dressing, cranberry sauce. I ain't gonna eat nothing else. Like that's all I want.
The size like the most important part when they be joining forces and shaking up. I'll be like the dap up, bro. Universal shift. You feel me? So I'm already knowing, bro. Like that's the dap up of the year, really. Like you gotta wait 365 days for that junk again. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I might get on the stove, make my yams. That's the only thing I can do. Without the can, I can make the yams. So. Other than that, I was playing Metaphor. I finally, quote unquote, finished the demo. I was trying to, and apparently, I don't know if it was 3 days or when you go back into the dungeon and try to leave or something. They brickwalled me. It's like, when you leave, the demo over, and I'm like, huh? Like, I ain't even know that. So that kind of blew me a little bit because I was playing it on the way back on the plane. I can't just go use the Wi-Fi and go buy Metaphor. You know what I mean? So. I was trying to buy like a key or whatever, so I bought a key last night. I bought 2 games in one day, y'all.
2 games?
In one day. I bought
Sonic
or Sonic Generations. I'm like, they only want the 30 ball for this mug. We up. Went ahead and cop. Then I was like, man, I do need to get this Metaphor for this plane ride. Tell me why. I don't know. I barely go to this site. I've been told a couple times buying keys and stuff. And I think
he said this site.
Yeah,
Go
bro.
ahead.
I was like, I bought that mug, right? It's the key, Steam key or whatever. And I'm like, all right, we good. But when they do it, they send you a text to confirm like the order or something, like a confirmation link, and I fell asleep.
Oh,
So like I was in the middle of doing it, I was falling asleep. And then when I was trying to go to the link, there's like link expired. And then I tried to go to the library. I don't know what was wrong with the website. When I don't have a login or anything, I just use like a magic link. And it was just like user credentials, like not valid or incorrect
oh
user
my
credentials and stuff, but I
goodness.
only got to put the email. And I'm like, so like, where's the game at? Like, I got the whole receipt and everything, and I go to this website. Period. It's what is it, Neba?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I was on there, and I was just like, I read something online. I didn't look super extensively because I woke up at like 2 a.m. to try to fix it or to figure out what's going on. And people was like, yeah, you know, we get one link per 24 hours. I seen somebody say that. I seen somebody else say like, if it don't get redeemed or something or like some type of error, you'll get refunded. And I was just like, bro, I don't know what's going on because this issue is weird. Like, because how come I can't just pull up my library? I never had this issue before. So I don't know, and I'm finna leave, and I still ain't got the game downloaded, so I might just be that else.
Dang.
Because I was really trying to play it on the plane, and I was like, I could just go buy it and just do it, and then try to deal with stuff on the back end and get my money back or whatever. But I don't know how that
Yeah.
junk gonna work out, especially with the keys and stuff like that. So I tried to message customer service and see what's what. So I don't, I ain't made up my mind yet, and they definitely ain't messaged me back yet. So,
Dang.
I don't really know what I'm gonna do. But
Damn, sound like you're gonna have to
other than
play
that,
something else. That's what it sound like, because that's gonna be a. They might they'll end up probably giving you your money back because they can just see that the key wasn't used. But it's probably gonna be just trying to go through that because they got that like whole system where they make you double check and all that stuff before they even put it out. And I think if you didn't reveal the key yet, you should be fine.
and that's what I was thinking too. That's why part of me is just like I should just go get that mug just so I could have something to play. But I ain't
Yeah,
trying to,
mess it up.
be that else. Yeah, and I mean, I probably could like I should be straight because I mean I ain't touched the key. Like I said, I ain't did nothing. I just you know, and I sent them screenshots and stuff, but I don't know when they gonna get back to me. So I might do it. I'm still on the fence. So, but that's pretty much it for me though.
Okay, okay. Well, it steps in the right direction. Maybe not frequenting those sites that don't really give you, or maybe just create a login. That might be the easiest solution here. If you use it often. But yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh
mean, I think the last time I used it was for Modern Warfare. I think it's for Modern Warfare 3. I think that was the last time, and then think I did it for Game Pass, and I think I might use it one more other time.
yeah. I think I stopped using it when I realized they the only ones charge you tax. All the rest of them don't. So I stopped using it either.
Aniba,
Yeah, they only want to charge you
I
tax.
think they think charge me a service fee. They ain't charge me
No,
tax.
they charged me tax a couple times. So I was like, man, what? And CD keys never.
Nah.
CD keys would never. But yeah, I guess some of those people still feel like those are risky sites. So I'm like, whatever. But I ain't never
I
had an
didn't feel
issue.
like Aniba was, but that makes sense though.
Um,
Thought that was a more better one, but I
yeah.
mean,
Okay.
it's cool
What
though.
about you, Josh? What you been up to? What you been doing?
Yeah, as usual, busy working every day. Last week I was working 6 days, so
Oh boy.
um, yeah, that plus also being a dad take up all my time. So as far as games, I haven't played any, I guess, like big games recently. Just my same free to play stuff, check in, do my dailies. But I did pick up that Pokemon trading card game I mentioned last week because they came out with a mobile game and the Pokemon card game. Like when I was a kid, I had like a bunch of cards, but I never knew how to play the game, and I just just had the cards because people would like trade them or just like give them away. Like I don't play with them. Do you want these cards?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I still got them somewhere, like in my mom's house, just sitting in the closet. But I tried out the mobile game because my coworkers told me that they simplify, I guess, the rules to make it easier. And I'll say like as far as like a game that I want to play, like collect cards and build decks, I don't think I'm actually do that because it's pretty like clear they want you to spend money so you can get cards
Yeah.
because that's the whole point. But as far as actual game, I think the gameplay is pretty interesting in the sense that if you just think of it like it's basically the Pokemon game, the Game Boy games just translated into like a card game. So you're going back and forth attacking people. But it's interesting because it has the energy mechanic. I don't know if you know how to play it or not, Jalen, but basically, in order to attack, you put your Pikachu on the field. Before you can attack, every turn you get like energy that you can use to attack. So it's my turn. I take the energy, I give it to Pikachu now that they can attack. On my next turn, I can give that energy to a different Pokemon that's in reserve. And what that means is whenever I want, instead of attacking with Pikachu, I can take Pikachu back, throw out my next Pokemon, and attack in the same turn. And I think that's interesting because even the Pokemon games, if you take out your Pokemon, like that's your turn. So you can't do anything. But that makes it so you can do setups where, they got a Squirtle on the field and I got a Charmander. So they think they got the advantage on me. But I can swap out my Charmander and put out Pikachu and attack their Squirtle in the same turn. So that puts a little, I guess, a fun element to it for me, where the Pokemon in reserve are a part of the strategy of how you attack. Yeah, that's a simple noob explanation. I know it's probably like a lot of more depth to it because you can see what Pokemon your opponent has in reserve. So it's not like I can completely blindside somebody most of the time, but there is a way where your backfield is not full. You can put one out one every turn. So I mean, not even one every turn, but you can not put any out and then put it out just to surprise somebody. So, anyways, that was pretty fun learning that game. As far as other stuff, I still haven't got a chance to watch Arcane. We were supposed to sit down and do it this week, but we didn't get a chance to. And now it's all completely over, I think. So I think I might just binge those in one day, and we'll probably talk about it next week. As far as what I've been doing, just literally listening to Kendrick since and not even just the album, it's just every day I feel like it's just something new going on related to Kendrick and music, and it's just funny how people are moving. I guess I'll just say that.
Yeah, it was a
That's my week.
Wonderful birthday present for me. I was like, Kendrick did it, especially for me. I told him to hold off. I said, there is nothing happening around this time. Everybody's going to be just chilling. This is the perfect day. So November was like literally great because it was like one of those things. I'm not talking about my birthday no more. I was just joking, but it was one of those things where nothing else was happening, like outside of like Black Friday stuff. So I'm sitting here just doing work, looking for deals, listening to Kendrick the entire time. So it was it was really good. One of those nice drops that nothing else was coming around it. So I wasn't listening to nothing anyway. So it was really good for timing wise for sure because it was just a boring week. But yeah, definitely wasn't boring after it dropped. I mean, first you're starting off with songs like whacked out whacked out murals. It's kind of like it's kind of gonna set the tone for the rest of the soundtrack. So really good. Really good album to me. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. But for me, what was I doing? I same time frame was setting up my PS5 Pro. I did end up getting that 30th anniversary edition. Shout out birthday present to me. I did end up selling my Lenovo Legion Go and my old PS5, and I kind of funded most of it anyway. So it was really nice to be able to get it though because they were very highly sought after, and obviously everybody isn't going to get what they want, so I'm glad my internet was working in my favor. I was watching some guy stream, and I wish I knew his name because he definitely helped me get it, because I was sitting there um and I was kind of like, man, should I try to get it? Should I not? And then I was like, I started watching his stream. He was telling us like things to do, blah blah blah, to make sure you're in the right queue. Don't refresh, all this other stuff. Make sure you sign in before. Luckily, all those tips helped because they worked, and I was able to get it. And I recently threw up an unboxing video, so you can check that out on the channel. And yeah, that was really cool. Like I said, one of those things, birthday present. I started playing Stellar Blade. I'm liking it. Like I said, I thought I was gonna like it. I am liking it. There's nothing really bad to say about it just yet. I am just enjoying the fighting right now. So not really too much bad to say for me. What else? I playing that. I beat Horizon Forbidden West DLC, which was really good. The main fight, the big hoorah or send off was amazing. I felt like probably one of the better DLC moments I've ever experienced. So I think Horizon in itself is worth the ticket, but the DLC and also is like definitely a value add, and you should definitely play it. If you're gonna play Horizon Forbidden West, you should definitely play Burning Shores. I think it just caps it off really, really well, and on top of that, it just one ups the main game in every way. So I think anybody playing Forbidden West should definitely give the DLC a shot and play it. What else did I do? That was pretty much it. I've been playing that and Stellar Blade. I didn't play anything else. So really, that was were the two games that I've been playing. I set up my I set up the streaming service, or basically remote play again, on my Steam Deck, which was a little bit different this time around. It was a lot more streamlined, not as difficult as it was the first time I did it. I did it so long ago, and like when it was fairly early on, that it felt a little more like of a nuisance. But now they have it in place where you can stream outside of your home network. They have it all streamlined using Chiaki for Deck. So very easy experience if you're finally getting back to streaming on your Steam Deck, or if you recently sold your PS5 to get a PS5 Pro and you need to set up your new service. I think it's a very much so simplified approach now, and it definitely helps when you're away. I don't know how good the connection is away yet. That's where I was kind of mentioning that the PlayStation Portal might still be nice, but definitely in-house, it's still a really good experience. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. I ain't really had much else. Kids are great, loud, annoying most of the time, but they're amazing. Family's good. You know what was crazy today? I went to my wife and we have a Kia, and I was literally, she just told me that, hey, we might want to have to put a little oil in the car because the Kia usually runs hot sometimes, or at least burns a lot more oil than normal. They all happen. It's not an old car, it's 2019, but it's still one of those things where it just burns a lot of oil, especially when you get higher in mileage. Anyways, the car ain't had no oil in it. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. I put 2 quarts in it thinking that I was just gonna top it off because it was burning a little bit, and we weren't that far away removed from an oil change. At least that's what I thought. And then my brain didn't remember that I went all the way to my hometown and my wife's hometown without ever getting the oil changed again. So maybe due to those things, it caused that. But when I put oil in it, and I took it to the shop because I was like, man, something wrong. And this doesn't seem right. So then I took it to the shop, and basically they confirmed that, yeah, you only had 2 quarts of oil in it. And I put 2 quarts in that morning. So I was like, dang, my junk could have blown up for real. So, reminder for anybody out there, just check your oil sometimes, especially if it runs hot. I didn't realize that, like, again, I didn't have that much of a time window between those oil changes. Definitely could have been a lot worse. I didn't hear no knock. I didn't hear any black or blue smoke coming out the back. It wasn't no issue like that, but literally it didn't have any oils. I was super surprised by that. And it did not have an oil light on or anything like that. So now I'm very paranoid, and I'm probably gonna check it every week just to make sure that it still has oil and it's still fine. The funny thing is, I don't drive it as much anymore because I don't go anywhere. I work from home now, so that is really concerning me because I was like, I don't drive it as much. We don't use it as much. Why do I need to change it? Like I'm saying, I'm still in the window. It's not like I'm out the window of time for the last oil change. I'm still in that window. It's just the fact that I got to be very cautious with the car. So it's like, might be time for an upgrade, but at the same time, who can afford it? So we're going to keep on putting oil in it until we come around to the time where I want to really start to put on the extra bill, because at that point I'm not gonna get something less than, I'm probably gonna get something more, and I'm getting something more. Most of the time I want to buy used because I would love for somebody else to eat the shoot, depreciation. I would love somebody else to eat that versus me. So I'm gonna try to get a used one, but at the same time I'm just like they may not have the used premium is still out there. So anyways, I went on a tangent, but I just want to let y'all know my car is cool. Just check your oil. Check your oil from time to time. And don't believe the light, because the light ain't tell me nothing.
Just real quick, I might have missed a piece of it. How many miles did you have before your previous change?
Like 1,000, like 1,400. Something like that.
Oh, dang. Okay. Gotcha.
It wasn't like a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. But I did take it. I take it on a road trip that's like 7 hours of driving there and back. Well, there and then back, so that's double. So I don't know if that caused it to, burn more oil or whatever. So by the time all that was said and done, it was like basically ain't had no oil in it, G. So definitely wouldn't have been a good thing if I didn't catch it, or at least my wife didn't state something, and then I was like, okay, let me go do a little oil. So thinking I was gonna really help it out, I tapped that mug, I put it in there. I said, this thing too clean. I'm like, I wasn't getting nothing. That's what was scary. So, but yeah, it's good now. Got the oil change. It's all good, but it is one of those things. Just like I said, check your oil. But let's talk about some games or Kendrick. I don't know where we want to start. I can probably get people tapped into these Black Friday sales because they're not gonna last long, and I'd rather y'all listen and go head out and get some games, especially if you've been in the market for them, because there's plenty of good games out there right now. For everybody that hate on PlayStation, they actually have still the better selection of games. So regardless of what you think about their console, they still have decent games. But yeah, where do y'all kind of want to start? I'm gonna leave it up to y'all, really, because I can start anywhere.
Either or is fine. I feel like I don't know how much news we have to cover, but we might be able to get through that first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we really got like PSSR not really doing well. PlayStation Portal was not meant to be the handheld, and Sony is actually developing the standalone. We got the Xbox Series X doing well as compared to the PS5 Pro in some instances, and we got like the PlayStation big history update that they put out. But I don't know where, like I said, I can start anywhere. Anybody too hard pressed to start in any of these places, because if not, I'm gonna just randomly pick.
Nope, take it away.
All right, let's talk about Pisser. I mean, PlayStation. What is it?
PSSR.
PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. The Digital Foundry got me calling Pisser. I don't know why they started that then, and then I started realizing it is PSSR. So this PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution is in the hot seat as always. For some reason, people thought that it was going to be the magic bullet that it never was. I always thought, especially when they said it's based off of AMD's technology, that it could be a mixed bag. I was hoping that it was going to fall between FSR2 or FSR3 and DLSS, but it seems like more so than not, it has a hard time with lower resolutions. That's pretty much the case. It's a problem with low resolution gaming, and a lot of these games unfortunately have that. It's not that impactful when it comes to like Spider-Man 2 to their big games, because they try to make sure that the internal resolution is high enough. So it's really scary when it comes to like these older games like Silent Hill 2. We're talking Star Wars, Outlaws. We're talking um like Silent Hill 2, and then the only one I've seen really do well right now is Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Stellar Blade. Like the other ones are seem like there's always some type of issue or something. But I guess to say it clearly, PSSR does not take it doesn't take away the problems of low resolution. Unfortunately, when you have unoptimized games and you have to rely heavily on upscaling, the upscaling implementation already being embedded is probably going to be better than the upscaling technique that is not, like PSSR. So when those things happen, it's like this disconnect when people don't believe that, hey, how can I buy something more expensive and still have more problems than I did before? Point in example, I just bought Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and the only reason that I went ahead and bought it is because they just put out an update to change back the anti-aliasing or the upscaling technique back to FSR or TSR, sorry, before, as it was before when they changed it to PSSR. Basically, it takes away a lot of the flickering and like the distortion in the image, basically like this almost like film effect over it, everything, where it's just like super unstable. And I honestly think that type of fix is problematic for two reasons. It devalues the worth of the PS5 Pro because it's not as if it's pushing you. Even with Silent Hill 2, with Digital Foundry, basically this information is coming from Digital Foundry. It still does not get to a solid 60 FPS in their performance mode, and it does literally nothing to the graphical fidelity. It's just honestly the same. So it devalues what a PS5 Pro is and what it's supposed to be capable of. So you really don't want to set the precedent that, hey, we're going to give you the option to choose between PSSR and like our standard upscaling technique that we implement, because all that's going to do is allow people to just state that, avoid using PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which you bought that for because you thought the technique was going to be great, you thought the technique was going to work well, and on a case-by-case basis, you're seeing that it's not the silver bullet that is going to defeat all. Essentially, it has some limitations. And that's what the key is here. I don't want to bore everybody, but basically the key is that PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR, is not as capable when it comes to low resolutions and ray tracing. Two big key components for them was, allowing for better performance and a better experience, overall fluidity, and it is being compromised in areas. I'm gonna stop right there. Let y'all talk. What do y'all think about PSSR and these upscaling? Uh, what is this? What is this the phenomenon or the scandal? I would call it. What do y'all? How do y'all feel about this scandal? Do y'all feel like it's even worth talking about? Do y'all think that it doesn't matter? Let me know what y'all think.
I think it's I feel two ways about it. One, it is kind of funny because the PS5 Pro is really expensive, and that's kind of the main feature that they marketed. Like, look how great the game is going to look, and I think that's a disappointment in their rollout, because like if you only got 2 or 3 games that look very good with it, you can't really. I guess the purchase is not justified on that front if you only got it for the upscaling. Obviously, there are slightly other benefits, like the size and stuff like that. But overall, that's pretty disappointing that out of the gate, your brand new feature for your new console is not performing as it should.
Mm-hmm.
And since they have a lot of older games like Bloodborne or stuff like that run at a low resolution, that you might want to, even if you can't get a higher frame rate, just maybe it might look better, doesn't perform well as well. So it's funny that Sony would do that, because I feel like that's a Sony move at this point, because Microsoft, with like when they came out with the One X, like they did a pretty good job of everything being showcased to run better or look better, even with like not a huge bump up. And then same thing with like the whenever they roll out stuff like that, it seems like they have a better showing of like the hardware enhancements that they come out with. On the other end, I think these are things that can be fixed
Yep.
in some cases. So I think next year there will be a lot more games that just look better for the PS5 Pro, because
So
developers have had time to fix whatever issues. Yeah, go ahead.
So the PS5 Pro Bros are beta testing at this point?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say so.
The beta
When Monster
testers.
Hunter comes out next year, I think Capcom would have had a couple months to get used to it, and it will launch in a better state. So yeah, you are beta testing because there's also new software. Like they tested it in house, but they probably didn't have thousands of people testing it. So yeah, you're literally the beta testers for this new software feature. But yeah, it'll be fixed over time, and I think that's good. The only thing that I would say I'm personally worried about is that it is based on AMD's technology, which is good, because any benefits that I guess AMD can make in the sorry, not benefits, any breakthroughs they make with like FSR technology future, that might eventually go over to like PlayStation. But since it's also I guess a proprietary branch of
Yeah.
it, then it's not going to go back to the open source version, I would say. So that also sucks, because now we got even more branching super resolution softwares, which is like, I like DLSS. It has its own issues, but DLSS, it has been like the leader in this technology. But they don't share that stuff with AMD. So AMD is gonna figure out their own solutions, which is good, because they, are also creative. So they have some benefits over DLSS, but also some issues that DLSS is already figured out. So it's just annoying that we're going to spend more time with this, with even more branches of this technology, where a new game comes out next year, and it runs well on PC with FSR and DLSS, but it doesn't run well with PSSR, or vice versa. It runs well on the PlayStation, but it doesn't run well with the upscaling on the PC. So that's personally what I think is going to happen, and that's annoying. But
Yeah, I mean, the I still don't find the value in the PS5 Pro. I own one. I don't find the value in it. I don't find that it's worth it. I don't find that it's actually a value add in a lot of ways. Right now, especially, I don't even know if it'd be better if like PSSR came out and it was swinging on all cylinders. Like honestly, I still don't think it was worth it. Simply just due to the fact that I don't think these small incremental changes are going to are ever worth it at this point. Like you know how when my Meta came out with their 3S Quest 3S, it had more value for less money. This just seems like we're going in the wrong direction where it has less value for more money. Like the value proposition here between the PS4 and the PS5 could be understand with the SSD, with the new haptics, with the faster RAM, the better graphical fidelity, being able to do 4K 60, and then going from PS5 to PS5 Pro is like we have to zoom in for you to see the change. We have to zoom in for you to see the difference. And y'all already shown us that the PS5 is more than capable of making great games shine. You've shown us that with Horizon. You've shown us that with God of War. You've shown us that with Spider-Man. You provided ray tracing functionality within your own bubble, and it's not as strong as the best PCs out there. But we understand how you are capable of creating and building off of your hardware. The PC is matching your your settings. It's not like it's trying to push to be the best, and even if they push harder, it still ain't that big of a deal because they just that good. So it tells me enough that I don't really need your small not so great changes or your updates because it just doesn't make sense, especially when you're almost charging me another full PS5 on top of it. Like that's crazy. So I just don't find the value in it. Honestly, I am going to take advantage of the one thing that it does do better is that Final Fantasy. I don't think my eyes would have managed to get through that game alone, but now I'm pretty sure I can beat it and be okay with that. But at the same time, it's like that's not enough to sell a big upgrade like that, and I don't think the next iteration of their consoles are going to be able to do that. So we will see definitely how this all shakes out. I know that Xbox still plans to be in the market. I know Sony still plans to be in the market. But I think that their approach to how they be in the market is going to be a little bit different, and I really want to see who lands on their feet the best. Because really, I don't want neither one of them to disappear or nothing, but I want to see. Because when I was out looking for games, I was not looking for nothing for the Xbox because there was nothing that I truly needed to purchase that I felt like I needed to wait for a sale on, because Xbox does a really strong value proposition for everything that they do. Like there's really nothing you can beat. And that's why I was going out there and I was like, and we can kind of talk about that a little bit, is Black Friday deals. Is when I was going out there, I was looking for mostly PS5 games because truly the Xbox, when I think of gaming and I think of like sales, I don't think Xbox games because I just don't need to go catch them on sale. They already provide enough value on its own. Like I don't need to feel like I have to wait for a sale for any of their games, because honestly, most of the time they're already getting my money and they know it, and they can just create the games they want. Now, is that experience different from when I boot up a PlayStation 5 game versus a booting up an Xbox games? Absolutely. I feel like I'm getting the golden standard when I play a PS5 game most of the time. Like I'm getting the best HDR, I'm getting the best haptics, I'm getting the best control vibration, I'm getting the best fidelity, I'm getting the most pushed out and fast SSD. I'm getting that wraparound experience that I'm just not going to get on the Xbox, and that's okay most of the time. But it does feel like a different experience when you boot up a PS5 game versus when you boot up an Xbox one. And I think that ties into the value proposition as well. So let's talk about that. Let me talk about some of the games y'all can kind of get out there right now if you're still listening, and definitely if you own a PlayStation. Spider-Man 2, that's coming in hot at $30. That's pretty nice. It's probably the cheapest it's been since it came out, and that came out last year around this time. So definitely a good pickup if you haven't beaten that already. Silent Hill 2 probably being one of the newer games that actually just released and is having a heavy discount. I'm talking this game is like $70, and it's right now $30 as well. Really good game. I heard a lot of great things about it. If you don't have a PS5 Pro, you probably getting a good experience. And if you got a PS5 Pro now, they reverted back for you to have a good experience. So it's definitely worth the pickup. I've always loved the Silent Hill series, and I'm just looking forward to revisiting this game because I don't remember any of it. I have the worst memory in the world. I know I beat it. I just don't remember any of it. So I think I'm going to have a great time with that. And I've been wanting to play another spooky game since Alan Wake 2. Actually, I didn't beat that Lake House DLC. Shoot, I need to beat that Lake House DLC. Armored Core, Fires of Rubicon. This game is $20 right now, dude. That's a steal. I ain't gonna lie. Especially if you just want to try this type of game. Because didn't this game come out at 70, Josh, or was it 60?
It was 60.
Okay, 60. Was it 60 on the PC and 70, or was it 60 all around? So I don't remember.
It was 60 on PC. I don't know what the console price was.
Okay. Well, $20 is $20. $20 isn't bad for Armored Core, especially this game that actually did really well and was critically acclaimed actually, and especially if you want to try it, because I think me and you, Jalen, were in the same boat. We wanted to try it, right? I don't remember. Did you want to try that game too, Armored Core?
Yeah, I did want to try it.
Okay, yeah. So those were it was one of those things where now it's $20. Definitely an easy pickup, easy for you to try out, and if you want to. Another one of those pickups for me, and maybe not everybody going to agree with this, but is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. It was $20. I decided if I'm going to play another Far Cry, might as well be Blue People Far Cry. So, I picked that up simply because I tried it on my PC. Felt like I didn't need the best graphics on there anyway to find the experience enjoyable, and I did hear that it ran pretty well on all systems. So buying it again on the PS5 with a very low entry point is fine with me. I only rented it for $15 that month. Tried it out. Didn't think it was that great. I thought it was okay. And now I have own that copy for $20. That's definitely the way to do it. You kind of get both ends of it. So they still got $40 out of me, technically, in regards to this game alone. So definitely one of those things. If you have those subscriptions, try these games out, and if you can wait on them, wait on them. That's just the best way to go. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I had to buy this again. I told y'all I wasn't going to play that game. I don't know if y'all caught that pod, but I wasn't playing that game with those terrible performance quality, and I wasn't playing it at 30. So with this update for the PS5 Pro, this is probably the most valuable experience upgrade that I'm probably going to get out of this PS5 Pro ever, I think. I don't even think I'm going to get it with a GTA 6. I honestly think they're going to be capping on a lot of the experience being better. I don't think that the PS5 Pro is going to run that game any better than anything else. I think that this is the top of the line here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This game is $40 right now. No, sorry, it's 50. So that the 50 ball is still a pretty high amount, but you know, Final Fantasy right now you only can play it on the PS5. So if you're trying to check it out and you want to play it, I would highly recommend it. I think that overall the game was solid, at least decent enough for me to recommend for the little time I played. Played like 7-8 hours. But I also have like 3 other things. Well, 4 actually. I picked up Astrobot, I picked up Stellar Blade, I picked up Shadow Generations, and then I just picked up Gran Turismo 7 for 20. Shadow Generations being 30 was good. That's a good steal. Because definitely that game recently just came out, and that's probably the definitive way to play Generations. I actually own Sonic Generations on my PC, but this definitely probably with the Shadow stuff, I think that is well worth the little extra money that you're going to be playing, especially for 30. I think that's a very good value add there. But Stellar Blade and Astrobot was just games I wanted to play. They weren't the cheapest. They were $50 a piece. But again, pretty good sales going on right now. Like I said, you're getting Gran Turismo 7 for $20. You're getting Fire Armor Core for 20. You're getting Spider-Man and Silent Hill for 30. Avatar for 20. Like, these are pretty good deals going on right now. You're literally getting the 2 games for the less than the price of one normal. So I think the $30 games, the $30 and $20 games are definitely worth the purchase. $50 ones, that's up to you. I don't think those are really great sales, but they are decent enough sales for games that are highly acclaimed, essentially. So, any pickups from y'all? I know that you bought Shadow. Anything that y'all even have on your mind for Black Friday? I know you mentioned a little bit about what your plans were for the Black Friday season, Josh.
Yeah, no games yet because I still got a big backlog and I don't want to make it any bigger. Plus, PC is a little different where I got to search on different key websites, and I mostly try to stick to CD keys, so
yeah,
I don't run into issues like Jalen. But also, like some of them, they're weird about region stuff, where it's like you got to use a VPN to access the website to get like the right region code and stuff like that. So I'm just avoiding that headache right now because I feel like I don't need to buy anything.
Right.
But what I was looking at was a 3D printer because like since I already know how to do 3D art, I figure why not try to get a 3D printer and mess around with it. I have uses for it, like I can make stands and stuff for like controllers or handhelds, and I've used like a 3D printer before to print out some stuff, and it came out pretty good. And it was like I made the file myself and I sent it into the company, and then they print it for me. So it was pretty like easy. And the prices of 3D printers has dropped a lot, especially the like good quality ones. So the one I was looking at is I guess what's the conversion rate on this? It's basically it's like 300 equivalent of Japanese currency, but in the US it's probably even cheaper, like less than $200. But it's a 6K resolution, which is pretty good quality. And the filament, the resin that you can buy, some companies have their own like proprietary stuff that you got to order from their website, meaning you also got to pay shipping and stuff like that. But this one is you can just get everything on Amazon. The resin is like $20. So yeah, I think if you're interested in that type of stuff, there's a lot of options for cheap. So we're gonna pick that up probably today and then mess around with it.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess that's all my Black Friday shopping.
What about you, Jalen? You getting some shoes, cologne, games? What you getting? Anything?
No, I ain't got nothing that I'm planning on picking up. I already got what I was gonna get for the most part. I might look around just a little bit, but I'd be forgetting about Black Friday. You said something about that sales and stuff with the Sonic, and I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and cop that. Other than that, yeah. And I did get my metaphor. I just went ahead and made an account using that same email, and it was like, "Oh, come to your library," and there it was right there, waiting for me, and I was waiting for it.
Oh, okay, that's good. Good. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Black Friday. Obviously, there's some pretty good sales going on if you got some kids at the crib. My kids are very much so into cars right now, so they're getting a lot of car related things. Disney cars, I mean. And Lightning McQueen made her. Yeah, anyways, they're obsessed. But that's pretty much all I've been searching for on the Black Friday sales. Like I said, really good sales on video games. They have some really decent stuff around headphones and other things like that. But I could tell you guys the places I look. I look on Slick Deals. I look at Wario64, and most of the time I am looking at those two exclusively, really. Everything else I kind of just if I find something I like or see I think is dope, I will shoot it out on my platforms. But yeah, definitely go check these out. Most of these I bought these games exclusively between Walmart and Best Buy, so you can definitely check out your local listings and just see if people price matching too, because some stuff might be sold out, but you can price match it elsewhere. Best Buy is being weird. They ain't gonna start price matching again until December 2nd, but some of these deals are going on longer than that, so you can definitely try to price match after the fact. So, but yeah.
And don't you miss working retail on Black Friday, Jalen? Trying to price match stuff. Man, I'll be avoiding customers like Deontay. Like, nah, man, get out my face. I ain't price matching nothing.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, I look on this website. I got the link to it. I'm like, all right, bro, come on. I want to go home.
Bro, you gotta go talk to the manager. Oh boy, price matched them Samsung Galaxy when they first came off $50 a piece. When they retail for $350, he got fired.
Dang.
Galaxy
Like,
Gears.
I don't know. I gotta check.
Yeah.
They got strict with it now though. When I tried to price match the SD card, it was like, no, I wanted the numbers off. I'm like, they both 64. They both SD XCs. I think one of the numbers was off on the thing, like the series, some type of thing, and they're just like, it's not the same item. I was just like, man, be serious right now, bro. I'm like, that could just be like manufacturer, what lot number, all that type of stuff. Like, it ain't even that deep. And it's just like a $12 item too. It wasn't like I was trying to get down. It was like one was 20, it was like 15. So
no, they done with us. They mad. I'm like, honestly, I haven't price matched anything in a long time. So it really is just more so if I see something that I want, I get it, and then I won't think of it again. But during these weeks anyway, most of the time they're not dropping that far down. Like you can tell where the bottom is most of the time on most of these items anyway. So, and then they be trying to they really play you when they do that whole exclusive to this store deals with these companies, and they like don't have the same model elsewhere. So it's like they try to get you anyway. So it don't matter, regardless of what they do. These little schemes and scams. Just make sure you understand what your budget is, and when you go out there and you only spend what your budget is, that's how you do it. But okay, let's move on. Let's talk. Where you want to go to next? Y'all want to talk Kendrick? Let's talk Kendrick, or no, actually, no. Let's finish up our gaming topics because I don't want to not talk about the games. So I think I kind of wrapped it all into one with the Silent Hill. I guess we could talk about the whole Xbox Series X having some gains on the PlayStation 5 Pro, at least when it comes to backwards compatibility. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate, bringing that up again, Jalen, your favorite. Assassin's Creed Syndicate recently had a 60 FPS upgrade on backwards compatibility with the newer consoles. So what essentially happened was Digital Foundry was taking a look at that, and in some instances, or a decent amount, but the Xbox Series X and the PS5 Pro were butting head to head when regards to that upgrade. And then at sometimes the Xbox Series X would just be flat out beating the PS5 Pro and sticking to a solid 60 FPS when it comes to, and that was just cutscenes. I'm not familiar what they were saying in regards to gameplay, but the cutscenes and stuff were showcasing real time cutscenes basically, and it was showing it was basically pushing the systems a little harder than normal. So obviously, to me, this is just clickbait. I mean, obviously, Digital Foundry did a study. They did find these findings, but do in my mind think the PS5 Pro is weaker than the Xbox Series X? No. Do I think that there is capabilities on both of these consoles to be tapped into further than what they stand at today? Absolutely. Do I think which one do I feel like has the most potential? It's the PS5 Pro. It's obviously the one with the better with the better APU, the ability to kind of run things faster, better graphics, and then they have a whole resolution, spectral scaling, whatever crap that they're putting in to make sure that they hit better targets. So, but I thought it was funny. So, honestly, when y'all look at that Xbox Series X value, and I think this kind of ties back into what I was saying about the PS5, is that those baseline consoles are really, really good. No? Like, would y'all agree that the Xbox Series X and the PS5 were actually solid consoles for the $500 that you paid? Or do you regret paying for them, I guess?
No, I mean, I don't regret paying for it. I think that they, in the beginning, like every generation, there's always like a rough patch. But overall, where we are like a couple years into the generation, yeah, they're pretty capable. It's just like we've discussed, like with Final Fantasy and stuff, there is a point where developers have to do more optimization that they can't or are not willing to put the time into to do. So then we get like disappointing ports to the consoles. So the PS5 Pro, I think, is a heavy-handed way of fixing those issues, but it also, like you said, with the backwards compatibility thing, it's clear that it's not a clearly a perfectly blanket implementation that's going to fix everything as well. So it, I think that for me, I'm satisfied with staying with the current the base consoles. How to put it? Performance, because those games that don't perform well, I'm personally not willing to spend extra money to hope that they do perform well. And there's still going to be cases where even on PS5 Pro, the game still doesn't perform well. So,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean the value proposition itself is that it hit a pretty high bar. I mean for $500, what you're getting with a PS5 Pro or a Xbox Series X is showing to be pretty capable. Do I feel like the technology itself is weak? Absolutely not. I think that literally the optimization of it is terrible. I have seen on both ends of the spectrum that between Forza Motorsport, between shoot like Gran Turismo 7 to Spider-Man to, like I said, there's plenty of examples on the PlayStation. There's only a few on the Xbox. But when you talk about them, I can see the greatness in both. I can see the value in both. I don't really have complaints about how they look. I don't really need more trees on the screen. I don't really need more foliage. I don't really need I don't need more than what they already are able to produce in some games. I just need that to be presented in a way that it's valuable, and I think that games right now, I do have to change my stance on PlayStation, and like this whole thing about them not having no games. I 100% believe they have plenty of games that people can play. I think that they have a really solid catalog right now, and I don't think that it's just should be undervalued because the games that they're maybe pushing and putting out aren't the ones that you find are the best. I think that PlayStation in itself has produced more than 20 games capable, in my opinion, of being a PS5 native-esque game or close to it that felt like it was a valuable ad versus Xbox not so much, but I do feel like at least that they have created a catalog of games that people will want to go back to and try or play. And that's what a lot of this Black Friday for me was, going back and playing games that I wanted to try. And most of these games it hasn't been over 2 years since they came out. So it's not like they don't have games. That's what I'm trying to get at. What I would like to preference that with the fact that some of that is it's a lot of things, a lot of caveats why it's being devalued. It's like the devaluing due to the fact that they're heavily tied to the PS4 still. They can't give it up, which makes a ton of sense, and people still don't understand the difference there and why they won't give it up often and quickly. It's still tied to that. People are still they're not like they're requesting more of Sony. They're requesting more transparency, and they're requesting the delivery of the main events on a more solid cadence. I don't think that they can say that they can try to boost up Stellar Blade to be a main event, but it's not a main event like God of War or a Horizon, and they haven't introduced anything that was the main event. They tried with Concord, it failed miserably, and I think that they had like 1 or 2 misses, and now they're in this space where they don't have a good. They're basically stating that they don't have a good catalog. I kind of think that it's very untrue, but I think that they have made a lot of mistakes lately, in regards to their catalog. So to me, the PS5 base is well worth it, well enough. Xbox Series X, well worth it, well enough. And I think that the Xbox Series X, honestly, on paper, was supposed to be the stronger console anyway. It just that potential was never seen. So it's not the hardware to me. Never has been. It's the games that they're choosing to make and what they're trying to optimize to. So if you're giving me 1440p 60 FPS all the time and it looks great, I don't think anybody have a problem with that. And it's upscaled to 4K. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. I think that there's a lack of ability to get that done with global illumination, with all the things that make a game look next gen. And with the poor optimization that they have, there is like really hard and incapable of doing it. But then you have things like Spider-Man 2 come out, and you're like, how did they get it done? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, how did they get it done? It's like there's plenty of outliers out there that showcases that, yeah, even in 2020, they had the capability of doing something special. So it just doesn't make sense. So that is where I fall when it comes to this whole debate on whether or not the PS5 Pro and the Xbox Series X should be battling head to head. I don't think it matters at this point. I don't think none of these consoles and the power of it matters unless they're making great games to come along with it. And that is the real big problem here. I'm sorry. I spoke a lot though. Any takes on this outside of, or any differences in opinion in regards to what these systems are capable of and what they do today?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well. The consoles themselves are pretty good, and the PS5 Pro is for me, it's a minor increase that doesn't fix much. So yeah, I don't have any disagreement.
Okay. Well, anything else before we move into Kendrick Lamar?
No, I think we covered all the game news this week. So yeah, let's get into the biggest news.
The biggest. So GNX, 12-song album. Did you like the smaller approach to the 12-song album, or how did you feel about that?
I think 12 is fine. I personally I don't like 20 song albums. So 12 is good.
So right up your alley, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how I want to start here. I want to start with just talking about GNX in itself and what it really did for me and Kendrick Lamar and perspective. Um, the biggest impact that I saw right now is that it got Drake in a tizzy. I'm not saying that the whole album itself is the problem with Drake. I think that this unprecedented run that Kendrick is causing Drake to spaz. That's one. Two,
Mm-hmm.
the quality of the music. The quality of the music is actually there, and it's enjoyable music. It's always been a thing with Kendrick where people felt like his music was great, but not so enjoyable and easily to ride to. It's not the function music. This is music that you sit there and you tune your face up and you listen to the bars, the bars, the bars. But this is like, I wouldn't call it dumbed down Kendrick, but it's Kendrick more so for a sound and a wave that is more uh, connected to what want to listen to right now, function wise, party music, having a good time music, feel good music. I think that he has plenty of joints on here, or songs on here essentially that actually do that. They actually have you in a space where you're just feeling good. You want to vibe out. You want to dance. You want to party. You just want to chill. And then he got stuff that obviously is taking mad shots at Drake throughout the whole, not the whole thing, but just like at some points where you're just like, yeah, not just taking shots at him, but really just setting the precedent that, yeah, that's at this point, this is beyond the victory lap. Y'all can stop playing buddy music. I am what y'all need. This is, I'm gonna let and I think somebody quoted it really well. I hate who I forgot who it was, but it was somewhere on Twitter. Somebody was like, essentially, when he kind of put out that "Let the Party Die," he kind of wanted to revive the party. I think that was actually in the description on YouTube for the album, but he wanted to kill the party to get the party started again the right way. And I feel like, yeah, he's very particular about what he does and how he does things. That I can agree with that. But yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna let y'all talk if y'all want to add some input. But GNX, where we at?
Yeah, I think it's Kendrick has played the, I guess, perfect chess game this year with just like optics and rollout. Because at the beginning of the year, with and I know that Kendrick would say it's not all about Drake, but yeah, Drake in the beginning was very loud and vocal about the the beef and the songs that he wanted to hear from Kendrick. He was teasing, he was taunting. He's like, do it because I'm gonna push the red button. But everything since then, Kendrick has played on his own time. I'm gonna wait to drop the disses. When I do, I'm gonna drop them super quick. And then I'm not gonna say nothing ever to anybody on any social media platform. And then here we have the full surprise album, not just like a song, just a whole album
Mm-hmm.
without saying anything. So that is, yeah, that's like you said, I think that part is what is got Drake in the tizzy for sure, in which there's nothing that he could do to respond to it because Kendrick, he'll show up, throw a punch, and then fade out of existence. So, he just turned into Madara, and it's like, how can I fight this dude? But anyways, other than Drake, I think the album of GNX is just really good. So I enjoy it. I know a lot of people feel like it's very different as well from kind of what they expect. Is very like it's completely West Coast, Bay
Yeah.
Area inspired. So that type of music, like I know that there's just some people. I mean, I personally don't get it, but some people just don't like that sound. And that's unfortunate because I think the stuff there is high quality. It is of substance. It is good. Um, I'm happy that we've gotten a whole Kendrick album quickly, because you know that is the big criticism of Kendrick is that he drops good music and then will disappear for 4 years. So we got 2 Kendrick albums in 2 years, so that's pretty good. And plus all the other songs that he dropped this year. So what I'll say most is that I'm enjoying pretty much the whole album as well as the rollout, and it's just the crazy part is where it feels, I guess, surreal is that the year that Kendrick has had, not to say that he doesn't deserve it, it's also everybody else reacting to it in a certain way is making his accomplishments even bigger. Because like you know, if he drops an album, everybody congratulated him, then that's a good year. But like he drops an album and then everybody like loses their mind and start putting out lawsuits and
Mm-hmm.
like Lil Wayne tweeting about Kendrick and it's like why what I mean Kendrick is great but how is this dude like getting under everybody's skin at the same time while also not taking an L?
Yeah. Um it's pretty interesting to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to play, I'm trying
Yeah,
to see it from Drake's perspective and try to give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes, but I just really don't. I understand being upset about being called a pedophile, but I do not think that Drake's a pedophile. I don't think anybody listening to that would be able to say, I think you're a pedo. I think you have tendencies to showcase things. Maybe I couldn't even
yeah,
say. Maybe I could have said PDF. But anyways, when there's things like that, nobody. I'm not thinking that that's you. I'm not thinking that. Hey, I'm thinking he just out rapped you and he found an angle that unfortunately is somewhat believable because of your behavior previously. Like that is not what
yeah, and
I'm
it's
rooting for and saying, "Oh, this is why he beat you." Like, no, I'm thinking it because he outplayed you at every turn. And unfortunately, when you get outplayed, you have to hold a certain level of understanding that you cannot get around it. You lost and you lost bad, but not only did you lose bad, he hasn't stopped winning at all. Like he's been winning because of the amount of attention it brought him and the way he has elevated his business and his ability to captivate an audience in such a way that you kind of butthurt about it. You really hurt about it. And I really don't see his angle working at all. Like I don't see his angle helping him outside of the biggest angle I saw that people were talking about was him in current negotiations with UMG, and potentially this is going to help him win um his deal, But it ain't going to help you with your image. It's not going to help you with your ability to sell more. It's just going to look like unfortunately the bitter ex, the person that lost, the one that loved more. You just loved it more, man. At this point, it just looks sad. I don't know.
yeah.
I can't really see it any other way. I'm trying to. I'm trying to see it a different
Because
way.
like again, I don't um for me, I didn't take it as like Drake is an actual, PDF file, but also I don't think most people think of it that way. It's more like, when we in school and it's like, oh, somebody point out to Jalen, oh, Jalen eat boogers because he was cleaning his nose. And it's like, do you actually believe that? No, but somebody pointed it out. It's funny. It's gonna stick. And until Jalen does something to uh put something else, I guess, more controversial on the other person, it's gonna stick to Jalen. So same thing with Drake. It's like, he clowned on you, he put some titles on you, and you haven't been playing any good defense this entire time. So it's just gonna stick until you fire back, and instead of firing back, he's going to get the principal.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen that before. He said, "Hey, he beat me. He made fun of me. I'm suing for defamation, and I'm suing." The defamation one really killed it because I was like, okay, maybe he's just trying to do something for maybe he's just trying to get like his earned money from this company for boosting Not Like Us and trying to belittle his image. Because at the end of the day, Drake's still a hit maker. Drake still got good music. I don't hate on that. But what I'm seeing, and he's peeling back the layers, is that no, this guy has been pretending for forever. He's not a part of this culture. He's not like us. And he's totally a Karen. He's a male Karen. He really will call the police if he loses. I just did not expect that from him. I didn't ever think that someone, I don't care what you feel about Drake, he has showcased at every turn that he was about rapping and about the culture and how we move within the culture, because his activities and behavior showcase that. But I truly now just believe he's a great actor and he never was a part of it. And now that his money and his image is being tarnished, he has to play in the ways that he's comfortable. And those ways are with suing. And it's definitely a different approach. I would say that it's not of the culture to do this, but at the same time, hey, do what you want. I don't really want to say you're not right for doing this. If you feel like you had defamation, absolutely. I just never would have thought of Tupac or Biggie or
Jay-Z and
50
Nas
Cent and
even
Ja Rule. I
yeah.
just never thought any of my greats would, because I did put him in my greats because he still is. But now, dude, like this does change perspective on legacy for him. And I'm not saying that because I was like, yeah, he lost a battle, but he stood 10 toes in it. He ain't do the J. Cole. He ain't shimmy out of there. Like, I don't care if you making up lies about me. I'm still going to attack. And that's fine. That is kind of what you kind of sign up for when you go into hip hop in that culture and like what this culture means to the people. Unfortunately, it might not be might be a little archaic, but it's kind of like betting heads with a football player. Ain't nobody going out there just to tap dance. They trying to go knock some heads off. They trying to win. So when I say that, I'm saying it from that perspective because, yeah, I get it. That is not how people should normally act. That is not conflict resolution. But at the same time, it's like, what did you expect if you lost? Or did you never expect to lose? That's the real problem here. It feels like he lost the basketball game and now he want to give me the ball back. He really want to go home and he doesn't want nobody else to play with the ball because he lost. And it's just crazy that he had take down a machine that probably has been feeding him for years to do it. Does not scream Karen? It just screams I'm a Karen. I don't really understand it. So yeah, legacy for me is definitely tarnished. I don't care what he does. I don't see how he flips this or changes that. Like the same thing with a gangster pretending to be a law-abiding citizen and then go snitch. Like you was gangster for forever. Why are you snitching now? So every time that I look at that, I'm like, yeah, you just faking it, which is fine. You're a law-abiding citizen, so be a good man. You're a good dude. Just be a good dude. That's all I got. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Be a good dude. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're gonna pretend to be something, I think you need to stick it through. And he pretended to be something, did not stick it through. And now it just feels as if all of his like gangster rap music is probably, and I'm so glad he doesn't have like a ton of it I like anyway, because I can still listen to Controller, I can still listen to One Dance, I can still listen to Hotline Bling, like all his slaps I like anyway. It ain't gonna change nothing for me. It just I just know that the individual behind him is kind of nuts. He's nuts. That's a nut thing to do. Um, but let's button this up. Anything else to say on Drake before we stop talking about him for the rest of this?
No, and I figure we wrap up soon. But do you have a top 3 or top 5 songs, real quick?
For me, yeah, because I was gonna go back to the album and just talk about the album.
Okay, yeah.
So, just going down the list, Whacked Out Murals, Squabble Up, Luther with SZA, Man at the Garden, Hey Now with Dodie Six, Reincarnated, TV Off with Lefty Gunplay, Dodger Blue with Wally the Sensei, Siete 7X, Roddy Rich, and then there's Peekaboo featuring Azkike, Heart Part 6, GNX with Hitta J3, Young Threat, and Phaso. And then we got Gloria with SZA again. Out of all of those, I don't really skip much. Probably the only one I don't really listen to all the longest is GNX. I don't skip anything though. I just tune it out kind of. Man at the Garden, probably another one of those ones that had like more of a message than the actual bop. So it's probably getting tuned out a little bit. I lose focus, but I'm still listening because I've heard the message. Reincarnated, definitely not for me. I just never liked Pac's flow anyway. So when he did that, I was not that intrigued. But what he was stating and what he was doing, going through like 3 different scenarios, I thought was really, really cool, and coming out to be like the devil at the end. I feel like his wordplay was really, really good in that. But that cadence, it's not for me. But Whacked Out Murals, Squabble Up, Luther, then I go up to Hey Now, then TV Off, Dodger Blue. I like Peekaboo, but it's not one of those games I'm gonna throw on every time. I know I'm throwing on Whacked Out, I'm throwing on Squabble Up, I'm throwing on Luther, I'm throwing on Hey Now, TV Off, Dodger Blue. Hard Part 6, GNX, and Gloria. Honestly, I can do without. But I like Hard Part 6. And I like Gloria Message. So, but the ones that's gonna keep getting replayed over and over, Whacked Out, Squabble Up, Luther, Hey Now, TV Off, and Dodger Blue, and Peekaboo. So
yeah, pretty much. I like everything except for GNX. I think it sounds fine, but it's not one that I would revisit. Peekaboo as well, but I do like it because it is catchy and I guess kind of funny.
yeah,
Because like it's literally been stuck in my head, even though it's not even the song that I listen to the most. It's just listening to him like Peekaboo. It's like it's just sticking in your head. So I think for what they were trying to do, it works. Other than that, I like everything. Whacked Out Murals, Squabble Up, Luther, Man at the Garden. I like a lot. Like very motivational. Even though it is about Kendrick, it is just like a good like motivational song.
Yep.
Hey Now, I like Reincarnated. It's great. I listen to that a lot. I like Tupac. I like Tupac's flow.
Nice.
I didn't like Taylor Made, and I really like this as like a homage to him.
Yes. Agree.
TV Off. I like Dodger Blue, even though that one's a pretty short song. It's like a cool like cookout type vibe. And then Hard Part 6 and Gloria. So I like everything. I think overall it's probably the least cohesive album, in which there's rumors about this, there's something else coming. But I think every song is good. And so whatever he does have next, I do like the like full unified album with like a whole like secret message or something like that. But I'm very happy to just get regular music from Kendrick. I think that he
Yeah,
could do that more often. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole big deal. Just, put out a couple songs here and there.
absolutely. And I think that's why it's so hard for Drake to get over it, is because he's still on his run. I feel like he's still stuck in that moment. So it's cool. I love it. I love the fact that he took this moment and made it what it is. I feel like I'm constantly being entertained by the music industry for all the wrong reasons, but when I get solid good music, I can't deny it, and this is some solid good music. I love it. And yeah, I mean, this is probably now my favorite release. It was Big Sean's, but honestly, I just feel like everything surrounding this release makes it more impactful. I love the West Coast feel of it. I love the same thing when Big Sean did Detroit too, and I felt like it was some memorable things in there, in like my childhood. But I feel like this is like impactful in that regard, in regards to the West Coast and what he's doing for them. So I do think that it's going to get a little bit more plays. Obviously, they both in rotation, but it's going to get more plays simply due to the fact that he was trying to make like songs that were replayable, short, sweet, to the point. So definitely did his thing. I don't do ratings, honestly, because it's hard to rate stuff like this as art. But I definitely think that the songs that I loved are dope, and I think that they have a lot of value. Um, and I think that they're definitely going to be in rotation. So, uh, you know, the OVO Avengers gonna have to, they're working overtime, to be honest, to trying to cover this
They're
whole
trying to
situation
get
up.
Lil Wayne back in the booth. Get the lighter flick.
Yeah, man. I love Lil Wayne too. I was like, dang. But yeah, I think what I won't say is what I know happened on this album too, because he definitely took a shot at my boy. But you know, as long as nobody else say nothing, we ain't gotta say nothing about it. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I think that he doesn't care who is in the field. I like that energy. I feel like that energy is captivating. Honestly, it is a little spiralish a little bit. I don't want him to kind of spiral, and I think that this showcased that he ain't just thinking about this. He thinking about making good music by his the West Coast, and doing the right things, putting people on that we don't know. Like I said, there's plenty of people on here I've never heard of, and that's amazing to see from a big artist like that. So, salute to him for sure.
Thank you, Mira. I would say the thing that reminded me of Pac the most is that Tupac always had a bunch of trash West Coast rappers on his songs. I there was a couple standouts, but I'll say half those boys they need to try a little harder.
Yeah, I like the Peso, and I like the Zeke. That was it. Everybody else was like, nah. I heard Roddy Ricch singing on Dodger Blue. That whoever everybody was on there. That was
Oh yeah, the Roddy Ricch was good. Like
yeah,
I meant the
yeah,
debut people who
yeah,
we
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
seen with Image before. Yeah.
yeah. TV off guy was Lefty Gunplay. He was straight too. Hey now, Dottie Six. Like I wouldn't mind listening
They
to
were
these people
straight, but
again. Yeah, but they weren't like. Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know what
going
you
to pick
mean.
up the album.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, man. But yeah, but okay. I mean, that's pretty much it for this week. I didn't want to talk too much or spend too much. It's already been an hour and 30. But I want to thank you guys for listening as always. I want to thank you. I want to thank you as always for sticking around, listening to us. If you want to check this out, you can check it out on my YouTube channel at BCD Universe. You can also check it out on where you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, blah, 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 wherever they come. You can get it there. Just let me know if it ain't somewhere, and I will make sure it happens. But I want to thank you for listening. If you got to this part, you're the real OG. And As always, we will talk to you guys all next week. Play that Kendrick album. Play some Drake if you want. But yeah, have fun. All right. Happy holidays. Peace.